welcome to the live stream show. Today, we are going to talk about where you could be live streaming and answer the question of what are all the different places that are possible and which ones would be the best choices for you, because there's so many choices. It's a new world. I mean, a lot of people, when they think about live video, they think about, well, I can go live on Facebook for sure. And I can also go live on Instagram if I use my phone. But did you know that LinkedIn, of all places, LinkedIn has now opened up their live streaming service, their live video feature to every single person on LinkedIn, which is new. Like this just happened in the last month. So it's another opportunity. And of course, if you're thinking about video, you're probably also thinking about YouTube, and YouTube has a live feature and you could go live there. And the question is like, well, if I can do all these places, could I do it all at once? And the answer is yes, but should you? So to help us answer this question, I have brought Rob Balasabas onto the live stream show today as a guest, as a person who, number one, he's a big live streamer. He has his own YouTube channel. He's a creator who does a lot of live video. And in his other world, like in his day job world, he used to be the guy behind Tubebuddy's community, Tubebuddy, which is a big analysis tool for YouTube. And so he's been seeing like the inside scenes of the data and all that stuff, and also helping and working with tons and tons of creators just like you. And now he's leapt from Tubebuddy over to a new company that's called Uscreen, which is basically a platform for creators to monetize their videos. So if you're a teacher or an instructor or somebody who does streaming and you actually want to have people come and pay for your videos, paid on demand, this is the tool for you. It's a great platform. You basically get to create your own Netflix-like streaming service that's all branded by you. It's terrific. It's amazing. And we're going to talk more about that. So stay tuned. We have some really great stuff to cover. Let's get the show started. Recorded live in Boston, Massachusetts, this is the Livestream Show. In a world full of underexposed entrepreneurs, the Livestream Show is your gateway to a global community of live stream pioneers who dare to go live and create something special and unexpected, which could only happen because it was live. I'm your host, Brad Powell. Let's get on with the show. All right. Welcome to the show.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Brad. Glad to be here. That's such a professional introduction. I'm very jealous.
Well, it's fun to create these little things. And I have this whole thing, like when I started this series, I had this energy around, like ever since I was a little kid, of let's put on a show.
Yeah. Clearly. Yes.
So I just, that show intro there, I picked the music, which was all about like, I want to get some kind of feeling for almost like a vaudeville type of presentation. And
Yeah, I love it.
I found that music and I went, oh, this is so perfect.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. This is a great topic, and I'm excited to kind of, dig into it with you.
Okay, well, to get started, like I gave you a bit of an introduction, but how do you describe yourself? Like if somebody walked up to you at a conference and said, oh, I see your name is Rob by your name tag. What do you do? What do you use as your current 1 minute elevator pitch of like, okay, here's me and this is what I do now.
That's a great question. I would probably say, I'm a content creator, mostly on video and live streams, but my day job, which is what you said, is head of partnership. And so I work a lot with creators and brands and influencers to bring them into our world and to work with them on affiliate side of things, and also, sponsorships and co-marketing. And so that's what I do. That's what I do here. So yeah, that's a good practice, though. That's a good practice. I'm just getting my mouth around the new role and how to talk about it. So this is great.
Right. I know it's been fairly recent that you have started working with
Very.
your new folks. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, in this topic of
Hmm.
answering the question of where should people be thinking about going live, I mean, there really is a lot of choice. So, one place to start would be just in your own mind. Like, I know you are
Uh-huh.
doing live streaming and you've already gone through this process of choosing for yourself. How do
Yep.
you look at that? Like, when you're thinking of, like, okay, I'm going live, I have a lot of places to go that are possible for me. I can do
Yeah.
one at a time or I can do a multicast. Like, how do you approach it for yourself?
Yeah, yeah, this is a again great conversation piece. I think this is something that a lot of content creators, as newer content creators, kind of come into the scene and understanding like, hey, I really want to take advantage of video. I understand that it's the way of the future, and we need to invest in it as a company or as a personal brand. And you start thinking about live streaming, versus recorded content. It will wherever you are now. I feel like it will evolve and mature depending on your goals and also your resources, right? And so your goals, meaning like what is your goal with the video, with the live stream? There's a lot of different goals, and you need to have a goal. You need to understand what that is so you can then build the content for that. So sometimes the goal is awareness. I just want people to know about me, my company, my products, my services. Sometimes it's community building. I just want to create a movement, create a community. Eventually we'll monetize that, but for now I just want to create this community around me and around my products or services. And then sometimes it could be to sell something. It could be to get people to book a consultation call with you, to book your services, that sort of thing, to opt into your courses, your memberships, your lead magnet. And so you need to have that goal in place. And then that will help dictate what you do to get to that goal, right? And so streaming, there's a couple different ways to go about it. I think if you're starting out, Brad, if I was starting out again, there's so many tools now. You're using Ecamm. There's so many tools now that allows you to live stream to multiple places. I think that is probably, if I was going to start live streaming and I don't have any content yet, I'd probably multi-stream and then keep doing that. I would do that probably for a good 60, 90 days, at least once a week, and multi-stream to everywhere that I have an audience, big or small, have an audience. So Facebook, LinkedIn, if you have LinkedIn Live, you should now. I think it's new. It's everybody has access to it. So Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube for sure. Create a channel if you don't have one. There's some, and so you want to start multi-streaming and then paying attention to the data that comes back. You'll find eventually there's going to be one or two channels that you have way more audiences versus the other ones. So you may find that Facebook is really strong. You get a lot of audience, a lot of viewers live on Facebook, and so you may want to then sort of shift towards Facebook and have a specific Facebook type show or live stream. And so go live everywhere, but listen and pay attention to the data. And then eventually, this is kind of what happened to me. Eventually, you want to pick one platform where it is the destination for you when you're live. The reason being is that you got to have, otherwise your audiences are too spread apart. And so for me, for now, this is just my own personal experience. You may still be multi-streaming, which is great. I still multi-stream as well, just not as frequently anymore. I usually just live stream on YouTube, and then I will promote that on all the other platforms, because I want to grow my YouTube channel. Going back to your goals, my goal is to grow my YouTube channel. That's my main sort of content hub, and then from there they can go to the different offerings that I have. So that's sort of how I think about it, Brad. Again, I'm just one person, and that's only one opinion. So there's a multitude of ways to leverage live stream videos for sure.
Yeah, no, I like that approach in terms of, start by casting a wide net and seeing where your audience is and actually who responds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly.
so I have a question about now that, like, you've decided to go all in on YouTube, which is great. I'm wondering, I know, like, for instance, Pat Flynn, and
Yes.
you guys are watching this. Pat Flynn is this guy whose business is called Smart Passive Income. He's written a bunch of great books. One is called Will It Fly? Another one is called Superfans. And he is about a year ago, well, actually, just at the start of the social distance time,
Hmm.
he decided to go live on YouTube every single day at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
And he did it for an
It's crazy.
entire year.
Hmm.
And it, from what I could see, it did a lot of, building a community around his super fans. But
Hmm.
interestingly, and I'd like to hear your take on this, when it was all done and he sort of did a review of like, okay, this is what I think happened in this last year, he mentioned that, well, live streaming and YouTube growth don't necessarily do that well together. In that
Hmm.
he was
Yeah.
thinking that, given that when you have a pre-recorded video, it could get 20, 50, 80,000 views, but his live streams, even though they were popular, were probably only getting, eight or 900 views or maybe 1,000 views, per stream. And so he felt like the algorithm on YouTube was, looking at these daily streams, which was more videos that he was producing than the pre-recorded ones, and sort
Yep.
of downgrading his channel authority as a result of that. So, what do you think
Yep.
about that? Like, what do you think? I mean, I know that nobody really knows for sure, like what YouTube
No.
does,
No. No. No.
but is it like it's a balance between I can build a community of people who are like really loving this and talking with me and having this conversation versus I want to be like the influencer of choice on YouTube and have the biggest following there possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, live streaming is not the best. I mean, speaking specifically about YouTube, YouTube people are coming to watch usually, pre-recorded content. They're searching something, it's a search engine. And so, YouTube also cares a lot about watch time. It's a big, big metric that YouTube cares about. And so, if after the live stream is done, if you keep your live stream on your video on your channel as a public video, unlike it's not likely to do much, like very well now, in terms of getting more views on the replay and everything, and having longevity as an evergreen video and piece of content, versus something that was pre-recorded, very much edited, and the attention span is like really locked in, and so very engaging, so yeah, I would agree with Pat. It's probably, unless you are formatting your live stream for a replay viewer in terms of format, um, it probably won't do very well in terms of growing your audience. Now again, going back to the goals, I know it's like going back to the goals is kind of like the boring business side of things, but like if your goal is, I think it's best to have a mixture, because yes, the pre-recorded content will get you search views and in front of a new audience, and grow your channel, and expand your reach in terms of search, recommended, and all that stuff. So YouTube's like favorite kind of content. The live stream, I would argue, would be probably it would do better for a content creator in terms of connecting with their audience. So I'm not sure what Pat, I mean, I don't know Pat's numbers, but I would imagine that, there's a lot of people that probably did more business with Pat because they got to know Pat during those live streams, and during that whole year of live streaming every day. I would really argue that, Pat probably grew a lot of, like trust, and built his community deeper, during that time, that then will, I mean, it'll benefit his business in other ways, ways that we may not see in terms of subscriber count. So, there's definitely a place for both, and they're both very helpful for different parts of your business. Yeah, that's just my thoughts there.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We got a question here. Uh,
Yeah.
see if I bring it on screen. CC McGee
Season.
says, "How is watch time versus amount of viewers differentiated?"
Yeah. Watch time versus amount of viewers differentiate. So watch time is basically your, so if you have a 5 minute video and somebody watches 4 minutes, that's an 80% viewer in terms of like watch time, right? So, viewer retention. And so that's watch time. So how much of a video is a viewer watching, right? And so a live stream, if a live stream is like 60 minutes, right? Because you're, interviewing a guest and doing Q&A, and then all of a sudden you get the replay, somebody's only watching like the first minute or two. That's not going to look really good on you for your YouTube video. Now, in terms of the number of viewers, the number of viewers is just like how many views you get. So it doesn't really, it says a little bit because you can see it on YouTube and it's a public metric, but the watch time is actually what YouTube cares for. You're probably, the next question is, why is that? Okay, well, how does YouTube make money? YouTube makes money by putting ads in your videos, right? Before the video, in the middle, at the end, that's how YouTube makes money. It's one of the primary ways YouTube makes money is AdSense. And so if people are watching more of your videos, then YouTube can show them more ads and sell more ads to brands and companies. There's another metric that YouTube really loves, which is session time. So you can see all of this in your YouTube analytics. All right. So session time. So session time is basically how long a viewer that you bring into, YouTube, how long do they spend binge watching on YouTube? And so, if somebody comes in and watches one of your videos, and then they end up watching another one of your videos at the end after, in your playlist, or they go off into watching another video from another channel, those are all good things. The longer a viewer stays on YouTube, the better it is for you, right? And so YouTube is then going to look at your video and say, it's just like if you owned a store and you're merchandising, you're like, okay, well, this product sells really well. Let's give it like really, primary shelf space versus this product, people aren't really buying. So let's put it down a little bit lower, not eye level, right? But if you've got a really good product or a really good video that, gets a lot of clicks because your thumbnails are good, people are watching most of it because it's very engaging, then YouTube is going to be like, oh, this is a great video. This is a great product, right? We're able to run lots of ads and make money on it. And so let's put it at eye level, and in YouTube's, version of that, that is recommending your videos to people that may be interested in your videos, because YouTube has all of this data. So, yeah, kind of getting nerdy and deep into that there, Brad, but that's just how that works.
No, that's great. That's really good information. Well, the thing that intrigues me the most about live video, I mean, the big part is just that live video is relatively new. I mean, it's so new
Yeah.
that probably the coolest stuff that's going to happen with live video hasn't happened yet. We're as creators, we are being creative just in this medium and sort of the new frontier of, well, what's even possible? And the opportunity to have real-time interaction with whoever you want, like as a viewer, you can go on a live stream and sit down and talk with your favorite, whoever it is that's live, and have an interaction with them, which is a really great point of access. And
Yep.
and as well as you're there, you've got this whole side conversation going on in the chat. So you've got this community thing happening where you get to be part of the group, the tribe
That's awesome.
that's following, the person who's live. And all of these things are possible in a way that pre-recorded video just doesn't provide.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so the thing that I want to explore a little bit in terms of like, where is live video going and how can people who are thinking about using it, take advantage of it best is, like right now, my approach in terms of what I'm thinking of doing in the new year, that's different than what I do now, is sort of really targeting and developing segments and programming for the different platforms. And this is part of the answer of, I want to get your input on this of like,
Yeah.
there are different locations and they all have different attributes and they like different kinds of content. So, for
Hmm.
example, I really like the idea of going live on LinkedIn, especially now, because all of a sudden the gates have opened. And so a lot of people are going to be paying more attention to live video than they were in the past. And in the business world, LinkedIn is probably the largest community of professional business people anywhere who actually go online and hang out. That's where they're going, is they're going to LinkedIn. So the idea of going live and getting live in front of them is makes sense to somebody like me. However,
Yep. Yep.
I can design the stream that I do and break it into segments that are designed for a shorter piece of that that could then be
Hmm.
repurposed and put on YouTube as a pre-recorded video or
That's
be
right.
put there
That's right.
as a premiere. And the same for Instagram stories or the same
Yep.
for a Facebook, a short like 90-second Facebook post that's a short
Yep.
video. And I can clearly design what I'm going to do in my 20-minute, 30-minute live presentation so that these things will come to pass.
Yeah.
So what do you
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Definitely leverage the platforms. Now, the thing with, as you do more live streams and you get more, sophisticated with your strategy, you have to also cater to the platform. So you have to understand the platform. And so, for example, Brad, like, LinkedIn versus YouTube versus Facebook. LinkedIn is great. I think it's awesome that they're becoming more of a creator centric platform, not just let's just, where can I get a new job, resumes and stuff like that. It's becoming a real like solid social platform now. By nature of LinkedIn, it's people are scrolling, right? They scroll through, and so if you're live streaming, for somebody to stop and look at, hey, if you guys are on LinkedIn right now watching us, say hello. I would love, but it's like a scrolling type platform. People are scrolling. So you really have to catch their attention and really be, sort of grab their attention. Now, that can happen a couple different ways, right? If you're consistent, if you are live streaming consistently once a week or multiple times a week, then people are going to start seeing you. The nice thing about LinkedIn right now, too, as far as I know, maybe Brad, you can correct me, is they're very good with notifying you when somebody in your network is live streaming. And
Yeah.
so that's another thing that you can also benefit from. Maybe they don't watch the whole live stream on LinkedIn, but they're now like you're becoming top of mind on LinkedIn. And so whether or not, whatever your goals are with your live stream, you want to talk about your products or talk about your services, or just bring awareness, whatever it is, then use LinkedIn. Now, the opposite is also true. Now, you don't always have to live stream for like 2 hours, right, and have a whole show. You may just want to live stream real quick every single day for a few minutes and just say, hey, today, guys, I learned something really cool. There's this new tool, or I came across this book, or I talked to a colleague of mine and I learned this thing, right? And so it's a really easy way to create content without having to edit and all of that, and people get to see you, your body language, your face, all of that on LinkedIn. And that's really powerful, right? Because it used to be kind of a stiff corporate platform, but now you can really stand out if you are more engaging. So that is, I mean, LinkedIn. Now YouTube is different, right? YouTube, you can schedule your live streams. You can, people are going there because the YouTube viewer and the LinkedIn viewer are are completely different for the most part, right? The culture of a viewer on LinkedIn, people are going to YouTube. They're usually going to be watching videos. They're looking for something to tune into and watch for a long time. So you may, theoretically, you may get a longer watch time on YouTube, right? Now, so the format, may want to switch that up, because again, the format on YouTube is lends itself to the replay viewer. So, how is your video? Do you think your videos, if you keep it on your live streams, keep it on as a public video on YouTube, do you think people will watch it on a replay? All right. So, you want to make sure you're using timestamps and, all the things that are available to you on that platform. Facebook's different. Instagram, Instagram Live that you can save as a reel. That's a whole nother story too. So, you just, it's just, you got to make sure, because you are putting time into it. You're a busy person. You got to make sure that, if you're creating content, that it does have that, longevity, that evergreen, aspect to it.
Yeah. Um, so going back, just to re-mention LinkedIn,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
one of the features that I've been taking advantage of recently is that they have, when you schedule your stream in advance, which you can do,
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, what gets created is not just a post, but an event page.
I see that. Yeah, you have that set up. That's awesome.
So when you create an event page and you have a guest, you can make that guest a speaker, a speaker. You can add them as a speaker and they can accept that. And so now their feed is going to get notified that they're also going live. And so that's another additional reach that you can get. And then in addition to that, LinkedIn allows you to invite any of the people who you are connected with first person on the platform. And so so you get to choose who you want to invite, and you can send personal invitations out to them, and they will get not only a notification on LinkedIn, but they actually get an email from LinkedIn announcing that you're going live. So I don't know any other platform that does this kind of notifying for for live streaming like that. So it's kind of cool. Oh, I think we just lost your audio, Rob.
Oh, there we
Sometimes
go. Am I
oh,
back?
there,
Am I
yeah,
back?
you're
There we
back.
go. Yeah, yeah, awesome. Yeah, the beauty of live streams. Yeah, no, YouTube used to do that, where they do a lot of notifications and emails and stuff, but not so much. So yeah, that's good for LinkedIn. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So let's just switch. I'm curious about your new job and your new location.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you got it.
I had the pleasure of talking with your boss, your new boss, PJ Tai.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah,
This
yeah.
was just like about 6 months ago. He came on. In fact,
Uh-huh.
they reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're looking for places to talk." And I said, "Sure, come on." So
I
anyway,
love
I had
it.
a
I
chance
love
to
it.
talk with him, so I know a little bit about what you're doing and the place that you're. But why don't you like share the whole thing about what Ustream is and what it does, and how, like, what are you doing there right now? Like, what are you looking
Yeah.
at?
Yeah, yeah. So Uscreen is a platform. It's a software as a service that you can use to build online courses, memberships, and monetize your videos, monetize your content. And so you can have your own fully, white labeled website and platform using Uscreen. And then you can also build OTT apps. So, apps for the Apple Store, Android, Roku apps, Apple TV, all of that, all through Uscreen. And so I think at the moment we have over 11,000, creators and businesses that use Uscreen every single day, and many, many more students of theirs are on there as well. And so, yeah, it's an exciting time in this, sort of boom of the creator economy, to be sort of in the middle and the crossroads of the creator economy and monetization and all of that. And so my role here, I joined about 3 or 4 weeks ago as the head of partnerships. So I work directly with our affiliate partners, work directly with our influencer partners, and some of our brand partners as well. And so yeah, that's what I do here. So it's very exciting times.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah,
If I am a creator, which I am a creator, and
you
I'm
are. Yeah.
thinking of, and I'm thinking of now I want to, up my game. Like I've been doing all this content, I've been giving it away, but I have
Yep.
value. Like there's other things that I could do, almost Patreon like fashion, where I could charge for the content that I'm creating, and that could be
Hmm.
any number of
Yep.
things. And
Yep.
so tell me like some of the like types of creators who work really well with your platform.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of, there's e-learning creators, right? Anybody that's teaching anything on YouTube, which is a big chunk of YouTube and video creators. They're typically teaching something, whether it's gaming, whether it's marketing, social media, cooking, car repair. Like there's so many, dancing. I mean, there's so many e-learning type creators, and so they are a perfect fit for using our platform. There's a ton of that. And so we also have a lot of fitness, health and wellness creators as well that have their programs on Uscreen. Entertainment, a lot of faith-based platforms as well. And so yeah, it's all sorts of creators. I mean, there's the whole thing, and this is a bigger conversation, of course, Brad. But there's a certain thing about, like, making sure that some of your content is paid content. There's free content, there's paid content, and it's important to distinguish the two, right? And so everybody now, they want to, for example, YouTube creators, if you want to learn something, you can go to YouTube and you can kind of stitch together a series of videos and try to figure it out, and put it all together. And so, or you can pay for a course where the creator has step by step, this is how to do this thing, this is how you accomplish this end goal. Start at step 1, and then end at step 10, right? And so that's what some of the creators are doing with our platform. Now there's also ongoing memberships, and so that's where a creator can put more resources and time and attention to people that are in their membership. They can do live training sessions, live workshops, provide more content, bring in guest instructors, right? And because they have resources, right? They have a sustainable business. And that part of things, when as a creator, I think that's an important conversation that we all need to start having, is like, creators need to have a business and sustain everything that they're doing, whether it's through affiliates or memberships or courses or services or sponsorships. If a creator has a sustainable business behind their YouTube channel or TikTok, or Instagram, then they're able to create better content and create better resources for their audience, which is going to be good for everybody, right? So that's just there's the whole entertainment side of things. I mean, there's so many things, but that's a little bit of it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, absolutely. I think that for I mean, there's this whole new term called the creator entrepreneur, which is basically anyone who is a content creator is now turning that into an actual business where their
Mm,
business is the content that they're creating. They're, like the early platforms that were supporting this were things like Patreon, which was more of a kind of crowdfunding almost type of setup where people get different levels and they can, come in at different things and
yeah.
commit to
Hmm.
saying, well, you're going to make videos on YouTube. Okay, great. I'll give you $10 a
Yeah.
month to keep on doing that. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that seems to be working pretty well. But this platform, this sounds really cool. Like, I think first of
Mm,
all, the interface is terrific. Like, you really get this
thanks.
very super pro level looking place that is your
Yeah.
place, and
Yeah.
it's your own channel. Like, when
Yeah.
when in our wildest dreams did we ever think, oh my gosh, I can have my own sort of Netflix channel? And
That's
that's
right. That's
that's
right.
24/7
Never.
streaming and it's me.
Yeah, yeah, never, never. I mean, many years ago, not too long ago, like that wouldn't have been possible. You'd have to like put together a WordPress site and like stitch together a bunch of plugins and all this stuff. And then we're now, within a day or two, like you could have
Yeah.
something up and running and looks professional. And that's a good point, Brad. Like, that professional look out of the box, really shows value, right? And so people are then willing to pay for it. The whole student experience is very important. That has to be very important, very smooth. Like it's easy to go from one video or one lesson to another, all of those things, right? The welcome emails, like there's a lot of parts in that whole journey for your students that are, we really pay attention to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
as we wrap this up,
Yeah.
if people want to connect with you, either over there on the YouTube world, or if they're thinking, I want to be a creator on
Yes.
Uscreen,
Yes.
how do they connect?
Yeah, the best place to go to is uscreen.tv. That's the best place. You can learn more about Uscreen. You can then create an account. There's a free trial available. And then also our YouTube channel. So just look up Uscreen, letter U, screen. .tv on YouTube, and you'll find our channel. You'll meet Daniel Kosmala on there. He's our the guy that's in charge behind the scenes of our YouTube channel. So yeah, and if you have any questions, just find me. Very easy on LinkedIn or Instagram. Very easy. Send me a DM. Connect with me there. Happy to answer anything I can.
All right, cool. Well, I'll definitely put links in the show notes and in the comments so that
Awesome.
people can find you easily. And
Very
this has
good.
been great. Really helpful conversation. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad. Been a pleasure.
All right. So, for the rest of you guys, we are wrapping up today. And if you got value from today's production of the live stream show, you can share this and you can go to thelivestreamshow.com and you can subscribe. There is an audio version. If you prefer to get your content as you're walking your dog or driving your car or washing your dishes and you just like to listen, this is an audio show and you can find out and get the whole archive. The whole archive. In fact, you can get Uscreen's CEO interview, PJ Tai, that's from 6 months ago at thelivestreamshow.com, and many, many others are there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back again next week. Until then, so long, everyone.